Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM21 Zero to Hero, episode 31. Last time we left on a high, definitely improving our position, and our bad things that just keep happening to us, well, it struck again. So, Phil Skelnis was injured, and then Kane Robinson got injured. So, both of our strikers, with no real alternative. Ashley Hartley can play striker, but then we have no backup to them. Certainly not suitable. So we've fallen to 3 straight 1-goal defeats. One of those knocking us out of the FA Trophy, and 2 league defeats, which puts us right back where we were. 15th in it, clear of the zone, but out of it. Pretty much in the middle, and back down to lower middle again, back to a -9 goal differential again. So that early struggle in the season has kind of leveled off into that fall down the order again. What can we do? The injuries just mount, and every player who gets decent is taken away from us. Oh, goodness. It's been a struggle this season and last, after just high flying for so long. And every step we make forward this season is coupled with huge steps backwards. All right, well, anyway, it's March. We're coming up on youth intake, and here's to hoping for a good one, because, well, we're going to need it. We're really going to need it because, well, it's been rough times lately. It's been very rough times. And getting one player coming out of the intake and then losing 2 or 3 every season, bad combination, right? 1 good enough player, 3 good players gone. It doesn't add up. That really doesn't add up. If they poach us faster than we can replace players, we could be permanently kind of stalled out at this level, and that's just not right. But honestly, as we get older, well, how will we get older when they keep poaching our players? Anyway, there's got to be some combination in there somewhere where we develop mentally and finally start bringing up the personality of the senior squad, and then they actually live up to the potential that they have, because, quality-wise, skill-wise, we are better. We should be winning the league, but we're not, and most of that's coming down to morale, and for at least currently, that's all Diego Barreto. Barreto, happy, content, woo! And no offers in January. Nobody wanted him. And he's all like, yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to stay here. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of February, not around transfer deadline or anything like that, suddenly pops up again that he's unhappy. And then half the team, because he's a hugely important player to us, half the team jumps in to support him. I mean, where did it come from? Nowhere. There was no grounds for him to suddenly be upset. There was no offers. There was nobody coming after him. He was happy for like a minute, and then he was back to upset. Well, anyway. All right. I promised a glass half full kind of season. We just had some 4 minutes of ugh. So let's get back to some optimism. Can you help me find it, please? Please. All right, well, let's get on with it. Holmes is tired. Robinson's going to be out for the next 4 weeks. Phil Skellis is still not quite back, though I've kind of marked him back into the lineup as he's down to possibly capable of playing. So we enter this next match at Torquay, and they're at least near the bottom of the league. Our next match is against the league leaders, so even though we're on the road for this one, I like our chances of getting points much better today. But it's not going to be easy. we've lost those 3 straight because we lack a striker. Well, today we still lack a striker. Phil Skelness not ready, not cleared for play. So we've got Hartley starting at striker probably for the very first time. Campbell in his place, so we have far less support than what we're used to having. There's no Barbados out there in that position as he's now, well, not long gone, but it's feeling like a long time. It's been a long season. Nice play from Jewel there. Nice little bit of possession under pressure, but moved the ball well. And then we find Hartley over the top, and he's going to get his first chance, and he grabs his 14th goal of the season. Now, Hartley, he's starting to emerge. Because not long ago, and I really mean not long, just a handful of games ago, he still only had maybe 6 goals. After playing almost the entire season, ever since Barbados was gone at the end of summer. So, minus a few games at the start of the season, Hartley's been in that starting spot. Now, it's not a striker, right? It's right wing. That looked offside. Thank you. Okay, it was. He was well offside the whole time, and he's standing behind the line. Well behind the line. Yep. Okay, good. Well, anyway, easy call that one. We're behind 3-2 in the shots category, so heading towards halftime with a possession edge and a lead is good for us. We're just not the team we've been in recent seasons. Barreto, nice setup here on the counter, and he hangs onto it too long, but Campbell bails him out and then bails them out and gives the ball straight to the keeper, and he chipped it straight to his chest. Couldn't have made an easier stop than that one. Dangerous. Halftime. Anyway, Hartley, slow start. We knew he was growing into the position, and he was growing nicely into the position, but was absolutely a step backwards from Barbados. And that progress and him trying to catch up and be a useful player for us, it was something that was taking some time. It was really taking some time. And just here recently, that was so close. Campbell would have easily knocked that one in, especially the way the keeper was kind of coming off his line to intercept the cross. Holmes, Prosser, back into Holmes. Holmes lays it off for goal. There's the cross. This time Campbell heads it straight at McDonald, who's got to be grateful because McDonald was not blocking much of the goal. A whole lot of goal was wide open there. So, again, there's that step back. No Phil Skelness. Hartley might be stepping into that position nicely enough. Flag stays down. This time the flag stays down and it's 1-1. That had hints of offside, but is it? We'll see on the replay. Oh, no, easily onside. Just really slow reaction from the defense. I mean, even Cazella was slow to react, and he was easily a step ahead of his man. Both of them really poorly off their line. Okay, Campbell's tired, but do I even have any sort of backup for this? Yeah, O'Callaghan. It's same thing. Might as well bring in those fresh legs. 1-1 isn't the worst thing in the world. It stops the streak of losses and maybe holds us over until we can get Phil Skelness back next week. 60% possession, but only 7 shot attempts for the entire match. I mean, both teams really poor. Can we steal 3 points though? Wouldn't be much of a steal considering we had the lead. Cazella again! Come on, defense. Cazella's kicking their butts. Into stoppage time. That one's cleared away, but they're going to get another chance. They're going to blast it into no man's land and out for a goal kick. Oh, Simpson. There's Jewel. Jewel, nice one. Nice find in Prosser. Prosser's got some space. He finds O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan's going to hang on to it and kick it straight to the keeper. Every flippin' time, whoever's been in that right wing position today has gone straight to the keeper with every shot attempt. O'Callaghan this time finally aims for the corner, but misses. Pretty wildly. That really wasn't close. That's blocked. Goes out for a corner. Time's up. Can they grab the points? No. We clear it away. That should do it. There it is. Final whistle. 1-1. That game deserved to be 1-1. It really did. Hartley ends up best performer of the day, so that does show his growth. But you can also see our weakness in that Fenton, Hartley, O'Callaghan, and Prosser make up 4 of the top 5, and only Barreto is in that attacking group. That's a big step backwards. Now, Fenton hasn't been terrible since coming in, but he was better than Jameson. And of course, Jameson was for lower tiers only. I mean, he excelled in the lower tiers, but yeah. 3 key players out of that front group, and 1 replacement who's never quite been up to par. It's been difficult days. At least we got a point. No, we'll take the positives. They need a morale boost. Not to be told off. So we now move up 1 spot to 14th. 45 points, still at a -9. Now 9 matches left to play. Can we win by 1 goal each and get back to a 0? I would love that. I'd love to see all 9 victories as well. That would be amazing. Not going to happen. And we've hit intake day. We had that match against the league leaders. 2 more injuries in the week prior, leading up to it, both short-term in training. So those players were without. Phil Skelnis was back. But we lose 2-1. So we play well, we still lose. We're still 14th at least. Looks like maybe 4 good prospects coming out of this group. I do like that Nico Elliott here does play in a position where we really could use somebody. Faria on that left wing, that might be a good thing because Fenton hasn't been great. A fullback and Andrew Michael also could be a very useful thing as our defense has suddenly become very strained. And of course, as almost every season, we add a quality goalkeeper yet again. That's kind of the one place where we're constantly successful in our intakes. U18s versus youth candidates. One of the funnest days of the year. Getting to see what glimmer of hope we have for the future. And of course, the way things have been, I'm really hoping, is this our glass more than half full kind of moment finally for this year? We'll certainly hope so. The intake players are in the green to black uniforms, purple and black for the existing U18s. Second attempt on that one goes wide. First 2 shot attempts of the match, both on that play. And that's been it through 20 minutes. Candidates, good under pressure. Their positioning has been well. Elliott forces a turnover. Foster, not a good pass though. Long ball ahead. Elliott's going to find some space. He's going to blast it high. Elliott, I do think, was that main one we were looking at, right? I think he might have been offside. He nearly gets there before Oldham, and no sign of a flag, so maybe he was on. Another long ball over the top. That's also very close, so suddenly the intake players are dominating. Let's see, Forster. Faria, okay, I know Faria was one of the ones we were looking at. Elliott was one of the ones, so that's where those 2 ended up at. Marriott looked offside, but no flag. Elliott retreated back to pick that ball up. So he's making some nice plays out there already. Good recovery. Oh, Faria, nice play. Eager to see what these guys can do. Because, like I said, we really need some help. Elliott, that was a great through ball. Great find and really nice run from Elliott. Earns a corner. Could have done better on the shot selection on where he placed that, but still, I'll take the lead up, the build up to that. Finishing part can develop. Approaching halftime. As it is our youth game, let's just go ahead and speed this up. Another chance for Elliott, again off target. But as we hit halftime, intake players looking a little bit better than the U18s. And you know, our U18s is pretty balanced. It's pretty strong. It's getting better and better. But they do get the opening goal, Kai Hayes. Hollingsworth with a nice find to get Barker pushed out wide. And then he does that quick pullback. Defense should have done better. They had the better position on that one. Haynes gets inside of him, heads it home. Oh, nice one. Forster. Okay, the other guy. It was Faria with the assist. That's exactly what I want out of my wingers. Nice control. Does a very similar thing on that pullback to get that little bit of space, and then he just blasts it right through the passing lane where nobody can quite get to it. Forster now on top. Elliott pushes that wide. Okay, those two swapping places. Just over an hour in, Mullen comes in for the first time. Okay, now we make multiple switches on top. The reserves are in. I don't expect much else from the intake players any longer, as the front three have completely switched out. Oh, they bang it off the post. Just as I say they're probably not going to do anything, they go, oh, so close. Another long ball, another chance. Keeper saves. And Crosby, foot in mouth for me. Wow, they just keep charging. These are the guys that are just desperate to get into the side. Maybe that's why. But if they lack potential, it's just not happening. Here's a real chance for the regular 18s. Obeng grateful to hang on to that one. They kicked it straight at him. Crosby, another chance. That one begged for a better opportunity. Comes a counterattack, but that's left wanting. And we're coming up final seconds. Slow this back down to normal for... Oh, I didn't get to it. Well, I'll get that later. So this is what we call a mixed bag. Obeng is the best prospect, so goalkeeper again. A 128 potential. Only a 46 on current ability, though, so he's got a long ways to go. Ian Oldham, the existing U18s, was similar. He's now a 62. Potential close to the same. Faria, only a point behind and a 60 overall already isn't too bad. Andrew Dunn is somebody who is nearly ready for senior squad, 72, 132. And actually, I probably could have used him maybe over these last couple of matches, as opposed to a couple other options where they would have been certainly similar. But if you look, most of the intake is in the upper end. There's only a few other players on the existing U18s that are actually as good as they are. Not necessarily high-end potential, but a lot of guys in that 100 plus, 5 of them, and then another 5 players that have that 78 plus. We have 10 retainable, hang-on-to type players. And then there's only this small group at the bottom that we need to do away with and not worry about and say goodbye to. So 10 new players. I guess that's okay. Stuart Carter also has developed well, now a 74 of 102. So he's just about ready for a senior squad. So we've got a couple guys that are just about ready to pull up out of the U18s, have an impact. We'll maybe compare Carter to what we have up there right now and Dunn, and see if it's worthwhile to bring either of them up. Now, in terms of the under 23s, don't count Odell. Wait, isn't that our starting goalkeeper now? He is. I need to fix that. You are not a U23 any longer. There we go. Okay, Schumacher's the backup. Schumacher's taken over that role. Well, anyway, here, in terms of a potential, right, you really only have the two high-end guys and then a handful that are just about senior level. We still need to fix the U23s to a large extent. Tom Harrison now, 78, so there's one more player who is developed enough to really take a look at. So we've got 3 guys that might break into the senior squad. It looks like we have 10 signable intake players. All in all, not bad. I mean, the depth part really helps, but none of them are that 140, 150, 160 type potential that will really excel and come along quickly. And for that does hurt. That does hurt. So not ideal in any way, shape, or form, but certainly not a bad intake. Like I said, compared, with the existing U18 squad, there's a lot better quality in those 10 players than the few options that were here. Of course, we called some guys up, and we're about to call a couple more up, possibly anyway. That withstanding, this is probably the best class in terms of depth that we've had since the very first season, which, of course, that one wasn't so much about the high-end potential, as I think there was only 4 or 5 guys, but, well, similar to this, right? But just adding depth to a team that didn't have it, and that's what this has done massively. Never mind that Kieran Harris is a 37-88. He can stay in the U18s for a while and develop, but as an 88, if he can reach 78, then he's capable of maybe playing at the senior level, and that's what we've been trying to push towards, right? We don't want to take anybody below a 70 potential any longer. And you still have a fair few players that are down in that range that need to be parted from the team. But the U23s still have quite a few. The U18s still have a fair few. And so this is just a step in the right direction for the overall squad depth. But I don't know about the impact at the senior level kind of depth. Obang's not going to be ready anytime soon. Faria, well, a 61-27 could be ready soon. So how is Fenton? Fenton is a... Where are you, buddy? Down here. Oh, 96-110. He's certainly got better potential, but obviously a 96 is, one of our better options. There he is, 96-110. So he could be better than Fenton, and at a 96-110, Fenton's not gonna change much. He's not gonna improve much, and he's not bad. Those aren't bad numbers, but they're not great numbers, and he's about as good as he's gonna get. So adding a backup and an eventual replacement for the position, that's a good thing. It's a good thing. Robinson should be back and healthy soon, so we're back to glass half full, maybe glass more than half full. This season's in trouble. I mean, we've got 8 matches left to play, and we're in 14th place. We're 21 points out of the playoffs, so not happening. But I'm gonna go through handle the signings, get these guys in check, make comparisons on those 3 players that may have earned their way into the senior squad by now, or see if, we let them finish the season out and then bring them up for next season. That might be a better thing. Get some development in, unless they're ready to make an impact now. And I doubt that. But we're back to a -10 again. We're only 1 goal above that point that we finally leveled off and hovered at. And, well, we're still hovering there, aren't we, as we're back to it. Let's go ahead and push forward. I'll take care of those things, and we'll see how we're doing. Maybe we can at least get a few more matches from now, maybe even to the end of the season. With 2 wins and 2 draws in our with 2 wins and 2 losses in our last 4, it hasn't exactly been good, but it also has been better than what we had of late. All those injuries, all those losses, only 2 draws for quite a while. It's a step back in the right direction, and we were still picking up more injuries. Phil Skelnis is now done for the rest of the season, so he barely came back and then immediately was injured again. And I think I'm ready to move on from Phil Skelnis now. Maybe move him to that left wing, maybe move Robinson permanently to that striker position, because he is now an injury magnet. He cannot stay healthy, and it's been about 3 seasons now that has been the case after he was perfect in the early seasons of his career. It's been really, really bad. Well, anyway, the 4 that we played versus the 4 that are coming, 3 of the 4 were against top 10 teams. So to get 2 wins in those 4 matches was pretty big for us. Morecambe was the only one on the lower end, but it was a road match, and we won 4-2. And then FC United was 7th, something like that, and we got that win. So big results for us. And we barely lost with Lincoln, who are a top 4 or 5 side, and that was on the road. And we led 1-0, and they didn't even score until the 66th minute, and then started to take control of the match from there. So with 4 to play, the good news, well, the bad news is it's 2 on the road, 2 at home, so there's no advantage, but at least that's 50-50. But the good news is that 12th or worst for all 4. So the difficult part, right, 3 out of the last 4 against top 10 sides, now all 4 remaining are 12th or worst. So or worse. So at least we have that, but we still have all the injuries. We've got a chance to get a couple of results. I did not bring up any of the guys. Only one of the 3 looked about ready, and that was Andrew Dunn. Dunn himself has picked up an injury, and at just a 71 of the 132, I want him to develop a little bit further, but based on position, I think that's our kind of step in the right direction for a future replacement to Phil Skelnis. Speaking of Phil Skelnis and how he has constantly been injured, he was a 98 of 113 at his best. He's never hit that 100 mark. He might have been a 99, actually. He's now an 89. He is getting worse as a player. Reason being is the constant injuries that he has had. All through his career, he's had injuries. You can see he missed a month in his first season, but then went clean for a while. And then in 2024, right, that broken lower leg, 5 months that he missed. So that was actually a while back now. It's been 4 full seasons that we've had these major issues. So that was December of 24. The next year, just 1 injury, but it was out for 3 weeks. And then in 2026, couple injuries, not for long. And then all of a sudden, 2027. Look at this. Last year, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 5 weeks, 2 days, 7 days. 1 day, 8 days. Even if it's minor things there at the end. That's 7 times he was out of the lineup a year ago. Or out of training. I mean, one of those, okay, fine, 1 day, 2 days. But still. And now this year, 3 already. It's only the first week of April, and he's had 3 injuries this year. And, that last one, that flu, was just in December. That was December. That was the day or a couple days before December. So since November 30th, he has had 6 times that he has been out of the lineup. 6 in 5 months. So it is time. It is time. A, he's getting worse. B, he's not even performing as well on the pitch as he was. 17 goals is not bad, but Hartley's got 16 as a rookie. Fenton has 15 as a not-so-good player. Of course, Hartley only the 5 assists. That does hurt. But Phil Skelnis only has 2 assists. That really hurts. The XG, a hair below Hartley. Fewer matches. He is a good striker. He is. But he's not complete, and he's getting worse, and he is constantly injured, and we're constantly having to come up with some sort of solution, some sort of replacement. So it's time to start thinking about that as a more permanent thing. I was thinking about moving him to that left wing, but even Fenton looks better than him right now. So maybe he's the backup who stays healthier that way, doesn't get injured as much, and provides an amazing option off the bench. But who can we develop in his place? Well, that's something that's still a ways off. But of course, Robinson, definite option. I would have said Prosser could be a great replacement there into that midfield, but he's already had to step up into that position. So our hands are tied until we can really get somebody up. And right now, like I said, the obvious choice for that is Andrew Dunn. He's not quite there. Stuart Carter, almost there. Definitely a midfielder. Definitely a midfielder on paper. The first touch and the passing are good, but he's still lacking a lot of other skills. The tackling's okay, but he needs to develop more before he can come up. So Carter's not ready. And then our one guy stowed away in the U23s, Tom Harrison. That's just a suspension. 78 of 87. So he's actually not going to get much better. And as for him, there's nowhere that I see him being an effective player. He's got some leadership. He's great for developing other U23 players. So I'd be happy to keep him around long term, but he doesn't really have a place in the senior squad. So that's it for options short term. Now, there's lots of players in the 60s, but Felipe Pino is the only one of those with potential. And then Ian Oldham. Faria, the new guy, a 61-27. What's his determination like? A 16. Okay. The crossing's already up there. First touch is already up there. Dribbling's okay out of 9. Finishing, obviously, could use some work, but he's got technique. He's got some passing, so he's got some capability. He's good off the ball. With some rapid development, if that starts to happen, you could look at Faria as a definite player who could make it up there. So there are good signs. There's still bad signs. 14th, we've moved up 1 place. We're still on -10. It's like we just cannot escape that bubble. We've been right there. We're 9 points over the 1 point per match mark, and that's definitely better than it was. But that goal differential has been essentially a 0 for the bulk of the season after the initial plummet, stay at the bottom, and then finally that slow climb. It's been from here that we've, roughly here anyway, that we've been about a 0 goal differential from that point till now. We were a minus 11 through that stretch. Better, but still not quite enough. We're also kind of hitting the highest point we've been all season, at least. I mean, we were 12th for a minute, and we still got a real shot at as high as 11th. FC United, we've bumped down. They were the lowest. I think they were, actually, no, it looks like they were 11th. So 11th is the lowest that we played of that group, other than Morecambe. But again, we're going to play some bottom of the league's teams here at the end. But that's not necessarily a good thing, as they're going to be fighting for their lives. So they're going to be playing even harder down the stretch. Yay us for that. If Field have a chance of survival in that last match, they're going to put up a heck of a fight. Boston United's fine. They're actually level with us, just goal differential ahead. Woking is in the drop zone, 1 point below, so that's going to be a challenge. And Aldershot's 12th. So we've got two teams right there with us, and then two teams right on the edge of the drop. Not really an easy 4 games at all. And the 2 home ones are the ones that are going to be fighting for their lives, and the 2 road ones are mid-table, not so easy. So, so much for an easy run-in to finish the season. We should probably be content with 2 wins and 2 losses again here over the last 4, as I wouldn't expect much more. And again, no Fjellskelnis for the end of the season, and Prosser is in doubt with a twisted ankle. We just cannot get ahead. I think we've had maybe 2 matches all season where we had a healthy team. All right. Well, anyway, it's only 4 matches. Let's just finish it off. 4 matches. I'll see you for the second half of Field. We're not going down. I mean, we're 10 points clear, right? We're not going down. Shouldn't be. This many teams is not going to overtake us. Even if we lose 3 straight and head into that, we're still going to be above the drop zone at that point, regardless of the results that they all get. And they're not all going to win. I mean, look at Phil Skelnis' rating is only 7.01 this season. It's a big drop from where he's been. Second half underway of the final match of the season. Tight contest, though we lead 1-0. Phil Skelness is back, available 45 minutes. He's on the bench, so we could put him in at any time here. Robinson has the goal playing in Phil Skelness' spot. An injured Barreto leaves us with Ando in the lineup, so that would be the change. Robinson back, Ando out, and Phil Skelness into the lineup. And we might do that here at, say, the hour mark, and now we have no choice. Look who's hurt. I just blown away by how much this just keeps happening to us this season. We're going to make a double change, so we're going to bring in Liam Campbell. I'm going to go ahead and do the Kane Robinson Ando thing, and then we'll put Phil Skelness in. It's just insane how many injuries we've taken. All right, now we enter this match in the same position where we left off, 14th. So we only won 1 out of the 3 matches. We lost 1-0 twice, and then we won 3 or 4-0 in the other one. So 1 positive result, 2 difficult results. The good news here against Field is that they got relegated just after their last match. So they don't have anything to play for other than trying to spoil things. And here's Simpson in trouble, getting a second yellow card, and he gets sent off. Awesome. Not how we wanted to go down late in the season. This is a big chance for them to try to get back into this thing. So do I want to drop Fenton back to... Can we... I don't know why you don't just automatically go to actual tactics. Drop Fenton back. Hold on, let's... No, I did not say swap you two. Thank you. Apparently I did. All right, Holmes. Center back. Fenton. Okay, and then we don't even need a forward. Phil Skelness. Never mind having somebody up. There you go. Okay, pause. Let's go defensive. And let's change our instructions here for the final minutes. Time wasting. Oh, you're a friend. Be our friend. Okay, out of possession. Let's bring that line down. Let's bring that line down. All right, we could make another sub. What can we do? Fenton is quite tired. What do we have for options? Midfield, nothing. We have a couple defenders in Grundy and McManus, which are not good options. So let's just stick with these guys unless we want to do a final minute, which we're into stoppage now. Prosser hanging on to the ball well, along with Fenton. We give that one away, but Jewell recovers. Holmes with clearance. Campbell, instead of taking it to the corner, he goes for goal. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Now's a good time. Let's go ahead and just bring on McManus. Come on, guys. We got this. We got this, and we do. We hang on. 1-0 against a relegated team. I mean, that's what life has become for this team this season. I'm so happy that it's done now. What a frustrating season. If we didn't have awful luck, there would be no such thing. I've never seen, never in almost a decade now, FM12 I think was my first one, maybe 13, and I've played every one since. I want to say that this is the most unlucky season that I have ever experienced in this game. We had, not much of an exaggeration, 1 billion injuries, and then losing 3 key players. And speaking of, I want to show you one quick something before we wrap the episode up. I don't even want to really look at the stats on how bad of a year it was. We were pretty poor defensively. We finished 13th at a -8, so 3 goals better than where we had been at our low point, 57 points, just 1 goal off FC United, and we would have had that tiebreaker, I think, with that recent win against them anyway. Not sure how the first match went, but Boston United, that was our 3-0 win, so we did beat them out to get up to 13th. Field, Barnet, Dagenham, and Redbridge joined with Kidderminster, who Kidderminster was definitely above the drop, so they really fell apart here in the final matches. Stockport win the league by a single point. Lincoln, Notts County, both just a single point behind, and then and Waterlooville at 86, just 3 points off. I mean, that's a really tight contest at the top. In fact, all of them 80 points or better, none of them better than 90. So that's a very tight contest at the top. Last season, we were just a single point out of the promotion playoffs. We're 5 positions worse this year. We are over 20 points worse this year. Youch. Most of that came right at the start of the season, where we only won 2 matches in our first dozen or so. Things got better from there, but 57 points in 56 matches is definitely not a good season. Very much the season to forget. Final thing that I wanted to show you here is how bad things have gotten. In the last 5 seasons, we've lost 10 players to big bids to other teams. And we lost 3 in that first season, and that was definitely a step back, but we continued to climb. But then we lost 2, 2, and 3. So 7 in the last 3 seasons. And that's just been something we have not been able to overcome, and it's finally caught up with us. We have the talent. We have players of an ability that is better than the league around us. I mean, these are absolutely 5 of the best players in the entire league. But the morale part, this whole big teams coming along wanting to purchase them crap, it is just destroying morale, and we cannot get, and every time we do start getting it going and picking it up and starting to build some momentum, the next player comes along disgruntled, and our lead manager, of course, you got to remember, lacks in the abilities. I mean, working with youngsters, great. Motivating, okay, but spends most of the season on the sidelines with the assistant manager taking over, and we have low reputation. So when you start piecing it all together, there's a lot of holes in what could be something big, and we just haven't been there. And with a determination of 9, we can't really get the board to do anything either, including raise our own profile as a coach, in that for seasons, many seasons now, we have not been able to get a new coaching badge. We're still a National B license. After all these seasons, a National B is all we have. That's awful. Where the answer is, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you think you know an answer, because I've never been faced with this scenario before where things have gotten this bad. Now, of course, so much of this came down to just the insane number of injuries that we had this season. Seal Skelness missed 49% of the season. Williams Robinson missed 6 weeks, a month for Gold and Prosser, 3 weeks for Campbell and Hartley and Fenton and O'Callaghan. This is all senior squad. That's almost the entire senior squad missing days. In fact, it's 3 players. 3 players that went without an injury this year. That's it. Simpson, Grundy, Holmes. Grundy's the last player that we've got out there, so discount him, and that's 2 players that stayed healthy. Now there's, a handful of guys there who didn't miss much time, but that was rough. It was rough. I am so ready for next season. So ready. That's going to do it for this episode and this season. I've got a lot of work to do in terms of contracts, re-signing. I haven't looked at the coach staff at all this season. Been so distracted with just the extreme stress of trying to mount any sort of challenge. At least we cleared that relegation battle and got to mid-table, but what an ugly mess this year was. Anyway, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.